And we're on to exercise 14, which is having the character get up off of a chair. Now, I created a set of rules for myself here, and that is notice that our character's arms and legs are a bit stretchy. So I didn't care about, or at least I don't care about maintaining the character's volume as it pertains to the arms and the legs. All right, so you might see on a few frames where the legs or the arms might be a bit shorter than other frames where it might be a bit longer. Yeah, that is not a concern of mine, but for you, you may want to maintain the character's volume as it pertains to his legs and his arms. But I'm just having fun here. Another thing is that I did not, this is not a rule per se, but I did not use a reference. And I will pause here and say, always use a reference. It makes your life much easier and your animation will be much more accurate. Let me just break down the poses here. So the very first pose that we have here is the character sitting on the chair. And when you're creating your poses, it's up to you how you want the character to sit on the chair. I just decided to make the character appear this way with his left hand going towards his mouth. And I created the chair after the character. Well, obviously, because I've been using the character. So I created the chair and just placed the character on top of the chair here. And notice that his legs are not touching the floor. So I made this even more difficult for myself because if his legs were on the floor, he could easily get up and land on the floor. But because his legs aren't touching the floor, you will of course have to first touch the floor before getting up onto his legs. So let's take a look at our second pose here. So I have the character slightly leaning forward there, right, with his legs moving apart there. And the next pose here, I have the character slightly stepping down off of the chair. Notice the hand here is not bracing onto the chair there, which it probably should be still on the chair. So I'm going to just zoom in and let me take care of that right now. Let me go to all keys here, go to rig. Let me just move this back there because I want this and to still be on the chair to make it seem as if he's still pushing himself off the chair. I mean, when played, you probably wouldn't notice that. But because I'm going to the frames, I've noticed it. So I'm going to alter it. All right. So next key pose here. Our next pose, I have the character finally touching the floor, and I just moved this leg back a bit to create a bit of movement there. So when he lands on the floor, and let me go forward here, and he bends, moving forward to maintain his balance. And then the next pose here, he's rising up off the floor, and he continues along the other frames here. And notice something that I did here. When he stands up, he lifts up his right leg here and moves back to balance on this leg there. And I also move forward a bit while lifting this leg and then have him land on the floor completely in the standing motion. Now, when I play this back, this is what we have. Now, the end here where I have his legs moving back and then forward, it adds a bit of interest to the animation. So let me play this back. Yeah. Okay. Now, his arms are definitely looking wonky there. So now that he's off the chair here, I'm just going to go ahead and fix his arms. And I wasn't going to fix it, but now that I'm noticing it, I'll just do that right now. Have this move forward a bit, maybe even down. Let me go back. Like so. And see what we have here. I think I'm going to move his arms out here. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then here, don't like the way this looks. So I'm going to fix this curve there. Like so. Let's see how that looks. He stands up. Okay. All right. So the character is standing up. Let me preview this and play it back. Okay. And that looks perfect to me. Well, not perfect, but it looks really good to me when played in motion. Okay, you can't notice the mistakes. So I'm just going to add a few eye blinks here, or at least one eye blink, and we will be done with our animation. And I'm going to put it here, maybe here when he's stepping down. So I'm going to select both of my eyes here to make this faster, and I'm going to change this to an ease in, ease out keyframe. Let me just move this. Well, let me move the both of them all at once. Select both of them, move it down there, move it back. And then as he gets down here, maybe I'll have the eyes closed here. I'm just going to move this all the way down before it actually disappears there. So I'm just going to leave it right there. And then I'm I'm going to move down my timeline here, and I'm going to move this back like so. To open his eyes, let's see what we have here. All right. And that adds a bit more interest to our animation here. And also, I'm going to work on the eyebrows. So let me see here. And let me zoom out here and preview this and press play. Okay. It kind of blinks really fast, so maybe we can't see it. Maybe we could have the eyes pause a bit before it opens. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me go to the eye right here. I'm going to just duplicate this frame, move it over a bit, maybe 2 frames down, and I'm going to do the same for this eye, like so. Yeah. So we can actually see when it closes and when it opens. Yeah. What I could do, I could actually just move this arm back here, put it on the chair to make it seem as if he's pushing himself off the chair. But I think this is okay to me. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next exercise.